Is it recording? I can't see. The room is a little dark, so I gotta do it this way so that the flashlight could be on me because the room is just too dark. Yeah, I won't be able to see me. Um, this video is gonna be I made a video concerning this type of sign, but recently, well, I wouldn't say recently, no. I would say maybe 2 months ago, God gave me the same sign, but in a different passage of the Bible with a different character. Now, alone is significant, but when combined with the rest of the signs, it's like more than hitting the lottery in a sense, because we know how big this book is, and the odds of hitting one story that talks about a certain scenario and then hitting that same story again 2 nights in a row. Let me get to it so you guys understand what I'm talking about. What I basically do sometimes is I would say a prayer to God, right? And before I open the Bible, I'll say a prayer in my head, not out loud, in my head. So only He knows what I'm asking for, right? And then I would randomly open the Bible. And whatever passage, let me see if there's something here now. Whatever passage I open to, I would read it, the complete from cover to cover, from the end, diagonal top to the bottom, to see what message is in there and whether it answers my prayer or not. So that's what I would do. This is called Biblimancy. Not bibliomancy, but Biblimancy. Okay, bibliomancy is more like witchcraft. Now, I don't know why those two words sound so similar, where the act of opening the Bible randomly and another word called bibliomancy, which involves witchcraft. I don't know why those two words sound so similar, but yet they're completely two different things. Maybe they want to confuse it, and maybe they want to make you think that it's the demonic thing to open the Bible randomly and ask your father to reveal something to you. There's nothing demonic about that. But bibliomancy is demonic, so don't confuse those two things or those two words. But the flashlight is kind of bright. It's now I gotta see what I wrote here. Okay, so now this was years ago, okay, but you're gonna see how it ties in, because I don't do bibliomancy all the time. It's once in a while. Now, the first time I did it was a long time ago, and each time I do it, the theme of the message that God gives me from the Bible is exactly the same. Now, you're going to see exactly what I mean by that. The first time I did it, I said a prayer to God in my head. I opened the Bible, and God took me to Second Kings chapter 19, right? Now, 2 Kings chapter 19 is basically, I'm going to paraphrase or summarize the story. It's about King Hezekiah, my favorite king of the Bible. The Assyrians came up against Judah. Now, Hezekiah is a king of Judah. Judah is a very small part of Israel as a nation. Okay, Judah is loved by God. And King Hezekiah was a righteous king. And King Sennacherib has just finished defeating the other tribes of Israel. Okay, because they were committing idolatry. So God gave them into the hands of the king of Assyria, King Sennacherib. So now King Sennacherib, he sees Judah, this little tiny land of Judah. He's like, I'm going to take over them too, right? But he doesn't know that the king of that land is loved by God. So God is going to protect that land too. But he starts provoking the king of Judah. And he says, don't think that your God, Yehowah, is going to save you, because your God is the same God of the other tribes of Israel. But I just conquered them. I just defeated them. They're my slaves now. So I'm going to do the same thing to you. Don't think your God is going to protect you, because your God couldn't protect your other brothers, right? The other tribes of Israel. So he writes a letter to Hezekiah, and Hezekiah reads the letter, and he's afraid, and he takes the letters to the altar of Yehowah, and he prays to Yehowah, and he tells him it's a fact. The other tribes have been taken captive and is left with us. And, you're the only one that I serve. Protect me, protect Judah. So God sends Isaiah to tell him that don't worry. Let me read it to you real quick. That portion where God sent him. Second Kings. I'm probably gonna cut this so that it won't be so long. Second Kings 19, verse 16 through 20. Okay, Second Kings. Man, I really can't see. Second Kings 19. How am I going to read if I can't even see? Second Kings 19. Maybe I won't look at the camera so that I could be able to read the rest of the scriptures. Second Kings 19, verse 16 through 20. You're going to see how crazy these signs are from God. You'll see. Second Kings 19, 16 through 20. Yeah, I really can't read. Yeah, I can't read it. But okay, let's see. It is a fact, O Yehowah. This is Hezekiah praying to Yehowah after Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, has told him that they're going to conquer Judah. So he prays to Yehowah. He says, "It is a fact, O Yehowah, that the king of Assyria has devastated the nations and their land, and they have consigned their gods to the fire, because they were no gods; they were just idols. And they were just the workmanship of mere hands, wood and stones, so that they were destroyed. And now, O Yehowah, our God, save us, please, out of his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that you, O Yehowah, are God alone." And Isaiah, the son of Amos, proceeded to send to Hezekiah, saying, "This is what Jehovah, the God of Israel, has said. The prayer that you have made to me concerning Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, I have heard." Let's skip to verse 32 and 37. This is what Jehovah has said concerning the king of Assyria. He will not come into this city, nor will he shoot a single arrow. Wait. Yeah, I'm not going to look into the camera anymore because it's really blinding me. He will not come into this city, nor will he shoot an arrow there, nor confront it with a shield, nor cast up a siege rampant against it. By the same way that he came, he will return, and into his city, and into this city he will not come, is the utterance of Jehovah. Okay, so since the light is blinding me, I'm not going to look into the camera, but which is going to be kind of awkward. So the king of Assyria is not going to come and attack Judah, right? But actually, let me look into the camera because I'm not really going to read anymore because I'm just going to paraphrase everything. The king of Assyria came against Judah, and King Hezekiah prays to Yehowah to deliver them. And bottom line, Yehowah delivers them. But keep this theme in mind. Judah is being delivered. God's people who trust in him are being delivered. This is the theme of the Biblimancy that God keeps showing me all the time. So remember, they set up a siege rampant around Judah. They surrounded Judah because they're going to attack it and conquer it. But God protects the king of Judah, and he protects the Judeans, the Jews, and he kills 185,000 of the Assyrian army. He sends an angel that night, and in that night, a single night, the angel kills 185,000 of King Sennacherib's army, the Assyrians. Okay, the very next night, now this is one night. So I said a prayer to God, and he answered me in that book of Second Kings, chapter 19, right? The very next night, I do it again. I say a prayer to God, and I open up the Bible randomly, and this time he takes me to Second Chronicles, not Second Kings, but he takes me to Second Chronicles. Second Chronicles, chapter 32. Guess what story is there? The same story I read the night before about King Hezekiah being attacked by Sennacherib. So when I read it, I'm like, wait, am I reading the same story again? Because I thought maybe you know how when you open the Bible and then you close it, you could probably open to the same place again because it's partially open. That's what I thought happened. I thought I read the same, I thought I was in the same book. But then I said, wait, is this story repeated? So I checked where I read the last night, Second Kings And I compared this to Second Chronicles. It's the same story repeated. So I'm like, wow, so this story is repeated 2 times in the Bible. Okay. And Second Chronicles chapter 32 is Hezekiah being attacked by King Sennacherib, and the angel of Yehowah kills 185,000 of King Sennacherib's army. Okay, so I'm like, what are the odds of that happening? Of me turning to this to not the same book, but to a different book, but the same story, which answers my prayer a second time, because it's the same prayer that I asked God the night before, and it's the same prayer I asked him the very next night, and he shows me the same story again, but in a different book of the Bible. Okay. Now, it gets deeper, but I don't know if I want to tell you all the other 3 signs that God has given me. Maybe I won't tell you guys, or maybe I'll tell you at the end. But like I told you, I don't do Biblimancy all the time. Once in a blue, I do it. I already made a video about how God has done Biblimancy, has shown me signs through Biblimancy a couple times already. But the reason why I'm making this video is to tell you about the latest sign that God has given me, which also talks about Judah being delivered. So remember, this was several years ago. Last month, I decided to try the Biblimancy again, because it's been a while since I did it. So I just took my Bible from my bedside and I said a prayer, and I opened the Bible to see what God was going to show me. And then he took me to Second Chronicles. He takes me to Chronicles a lot. If you saw my other videos about the Biblimancy, but took me to Second Chronicles, this time to chapter 20. So I read the chapter, and the chapter is basically talking about another king, Jehoshaphat, another one of my favorite kings of Judah. And this particular chapter, Judah is under attack again. Okay? Man, I really want to read it to you guys. Second Chronicles chapter 20, verse 23. Let me turn there real quick. Yeah, I know I'm gonna have to cut this video, because I know many of you guys don't have a long attention span, at least not like I do. I could watch videos hours long and still stay focused, but it gotta be about God. Second Chronicles chapter 20, verse 2 and 3. 20 verse 2 and 3. Look at the chapter he sent me to, and compare it to the other Biblimancy that God showed me about Hezekiah. So it says, Second Chronicles chapter 20, verse 2. So people came and told Jehoshaphat, saying, there has come up against you a large crowd from the region of the sea, from Edom, and there they are in, I can't see it too well, in Hezon Tamar, that is to say, En Gedi. At that, Jehoshaphat became afraid and set his face to search for Yehowah. So he proclaimed a fast for all Judah. Now, again, I'm not going to bore you with reading the rest of the story, but look, the first Biblimancy that I ever did in my life, God shows me the story of Hezekiah being attacked by Sennacherib. The nation of Judah, not the nation of Israel, but the nation of Judah, was surrounded by a pagan king whose aim was to destroy Judah, or the Judeans, or the Jews. And King Hezekiah prays to Yehowah, and Yehowah delivers him. The very next night, I say a prayer to God. He shows me the same story again, repeated in the book of Chronicles, Second Chronicles. Years pass, and we're up to last month. I say a prayer to God. I open the Bible. He showed me the story of Jehoshaphat being under attack by a large army. Now, Hezekiah has, I don't know if Hezekiah is dead already, or if he's not yet born, but this is a different time period, okay? And Judah is being under attack again. So he says a prayer to God, and basically God delivers him. So now I'm thinking, tomorrow when I wake up, I'm gonna do it again. And like I told you, I've done Biblimancy a few times. And each time God shows me an answer to my prayer, exactly what I prayed for in my head, not even out loud. So God can definitely read thoughts. That's a question that I had to begin with. But God answered that question a long time ago with a sign that's still there on, I'm not going to tell you where it is because I don't want anybody to erase it, but it can't be erased anyway because it's plastered on the floor. But God showed me a sign proving that he hears thoughts, and it had my name in it. But I made a video on that one already. Okay, each time that I did Biblimancy, God would answer me 2 times. I would do it one night, the next night, he would answer it again with the same story. Okay, so since that has been the constant situation, after he showed me the story of Jehoshaphat, I'm thinking, okay, tomorrow when I wake up, I'm gonna say a prayer to God and I'm gonna open the Bible randomly, and I'm expecting to see another story about Jehoshaphat in a different part of the Bible, told about him being under attack, right? But when I opened the Bible, it didn't take me to anything about Jehoshaphat. It took me to the book of Psalms. So I'm thinking, maybe it didn't work out like the other times, right? But I go to the book of Psalms, and God takes me to Psalms chapter 25 and 27. Chapter 25 and chapter 27, because it's like really small. So all those chapters are in one page, in 2 pages really, but in one opening of the Bible. And I start reading from chapter 25 to chapter 27. So as I'm reading chapter 25 and chapter 26, I'm not getting anything that matches what I read the night before. So I'm thinking God is probably just, he's not showing me anything this morning. Then I get to chapter 27, the last part, right? Chapter 27, verse 1. Now, I've really got to read this one to you guys. Because this one isn't just about a summarizing. This one is about and the reason why, I have my bookmark here. Yeah, because that's the last Biblimancy that God showed me. Yeah. So 27, verse 1. Can't see. All right, I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna cut it until the glare gets out of my eye. Jehovah is my light and my salvation. Of whom shall I be in fear? Okay, let me start again. Jehovah is my light and my salvation. Of whom shall I be in fear? Yehowah is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be in dread? When the evildoer approached against me to eat up my flesh, they being my adversaries and my enemies, personally, they themselves stumbled and fell. Though against me an encampment should pitch its tent, my heart will not fear. Though against me war should rise, even then I shall be trusting in Yehowah. Do you see the constant theme of the Biblimancy that God keeps showing me? I know it took too long to arrive at this point, but I feel like it's important to help you guys understand. Now I can look back in the camera. The first Biblimancy was King Hezekiah being attacked by a foreign pagan nation. God delivers him. The very next night, God showed me the same story again about King of Judah being under attack by a pagan nation. God delivers him. Fast forward to years later, I decided to do it again. I opened the Bible and God takes me to the story about Jehoshaphat, another king of Judah, being under attack by a large army. He says a prayer to God. God delivers him. The very next morning, because God shows me 2 times always, I opened the Bible again to see what God was going to show me. And he takes me to the book of Psalms where David is saying, even if a large army should come around me and set up a siege rampant around my kingdom, I shall not be in fear because my God, Yehowah, will deliver me. Do you see the constant theme of the Biblimancy that God keeps showing me? So I guess God is telling me that sometime in my life, maybe in the future, because I haven't experienced this yet, but I'm going to have enemies. And they're going to want to kill me. Or, because I'm now, I did realize that I am a Jew, actually. But I'm not going to get into that because where I come from, the Fanti, the Ashanti, they are Hebrews. The language, but so in the few in my life, there's gonna come against me some adversity, and God is telling me now. He's letting it be made known to me now, and through the other Biblimancy that I've done, that I'm gonna have a large army, and symbolically, it's gonna, or it could be the demons. It could be that the demons are against me, and He's telling me that I don't have to be in fear. And actually, quick side note, I was told by my girlfriend that from someone my girlfriend knows that they tried to do something against me and it doesn't work. And the reason why they felt they had to tell my girl is because what that person does always works, but yet against me, it does not work. So they thought that I was using witchcraft, or that I use witchcraft, that I use magic. So they told my girlfriend that my practice is strong. In other words, the witchcraft that I do is strong, right? Meanwhile, all they have to do is go to my Facebook, go to my Instagram, and go to my YouTube, and they will see why I have a protection. So here it is, I'm being attacked by demonic forces, and people are trying to use witchcraft on me, and it don't even work. So no wonder God is showing me these signs through Biblimancy about enemies surrounding me, and not even one arrow can be casted against me because God is protecting me. But I feel like still it is about a future event that's going to happen, and God is going to protect me. And yeah, it's pretty dope, right? So I wanted to share that with you guys because God is alive, man. Jehovah is the living God. And those of you who do not serve him are missing out big time. That's all I got to say. And it's a lot of signs that I got to share. I'm thinking about making a separate YouTube channel where all it's going to be about is the signs that God has revealed to me. And I'm going to have to walk to that place where the sign is still there and show you the story behind that sign. So, all right, later.